right, so today we're doing a little bit of a moist critical style video where we're running through our favorite subreddit,
r/graphic design.
All right, so we are active on the graphic design subreddit, and we get a fair amount of hate, we get a fair amount of supporters.
People were telling us, we gotta give back, we have to provide value.
We want to let you know that we can shit talk and be productive at the same time.
We're gonna take some of the people requesting a portfolio review and give them honest critique and feedback. And if you're looking for feedback and we do not review your work here, a lot of the comments we make will apply to other situations, other work. But if you do want feedback, just reach out to us. We're still small. We'll just take on any request at this moment.
Just let us know if you want us to either roast them or just give you helpful critique, because we're happy to do both. Most likely it's gonna be bad, let's face it. All right, so let's do a quick refresh of the hot posts in graphic design. First one being by user Abiso113.
You'd be so good at design.
I recently saw someone post a portfolio review, so I thought I would do the same. Backstory, I have 2 months left of university. I wanted to take other people's perspectives as I think my work is decent. Tall order. Always believe that I'm a good designer and creative person, but my university professors seem to disagree with a lot of my work. I barely get any good comments, but managed to pass all my courses on the edge.
Well, just a quick comment on that. My college professors hated every single thing I made, and they were wrong. So we'll find out if his professors were wrong.
Should we give a letter grade at the end of each one?
Yeah.
Taking a look at your website, first of all, we see a book.
Yeah, so his website is a simulated book.
At first I thought this was the first project on his website,
Right.
realizing the whole website is just this plugin.
Yeah, I feel like you could take that type out. You shouldn't name your book graphic designer. Kind of weird.
Overall, this format for a website is like kind of a red flag, I would say. You have to keep in mind people looking at your portfolio are gonna look at it for 10 seconds max. They wanna scroll quickly through different projects and like dive deeper into a project that they personally like. You're essentially forcing someone to review your site in a linear way.
You don't want them to have to read a whole book to find, like, they might have something at the end of the book. It's just too much to expect someone to do.
Looking through this, like all of your work is really tiny because it's on a book. It needs to fit on like one page of a book. On a portfolio book, great, print it out and like, bring it with you in person. Your website should be different.
And also looking at hierarchy, B1 is the biggest thing. Like I have to like really bust out my magnifying glass to see the work.
All right, so looking through your branding work, it all feels kind of the same. You're just placing it all on these different letterheads. It's not really showing to us like how this system can be evolved beyond stationery.
This project, for example, Time, personal project based on branding of a vegetable or fruit, which I think is a cool idea, but why would you make it look like a bank? You have all this freedom, you could brand it however you want and you make it as buttoned up, as serious as possible, where I feel like Time has a lot more spice and a lot more flavor, and this looks like it tastes like, I don't know, not even salt. Yeah, like Pepto-Bismol, I don't know.
Visually, this is more engaging than your personal branding and the one before it. But, with branding, you want to see consistency. You have like this stroke outline motif going on, which could be an interesting idea, but then like the thicknesses, the way they're rendered are different. Like it's like super thick on the CD and then like thin on the business card, non-existent on other things. You want things to feel like they're coming from the same place.
There's only 4 uses of the logo here and they're all wildly different. I would like to see some thinking behind how you tie that together and how the logo placement actually makes sense in your design system.
Getting into illustrations, definitely a little bit more of your design chops here. Although I feel like for the Joker poster, it kind of just looks like fan art without the proper context that you would find on a poster. Like if this is a movie or a screening, like where is it playing, like what time, what theater. That's the difference between like something being understood as professional and a student. The Greek god stamps I feel like is the strongest thing we've seen. Interesting art style. Like it is this like simple vector style that you see a lot, but there's something about the qualities of their expressions in their face that are all different but feel like they're from the same family and using different colors and that, and they're also the same level of like density and complexity. So
I'd like to see a full page of one of those illustrations. Again, the B is bigger than the face, which probably has hours of detail put into it, and I'm literally straining my eyes.
Hours?
Maybe 2. Ooh.
M&M infographic. I would take this out of your portfolio.
Yeah.
Like no one is gonna read this.
Also, that nothing about that feels like Eminem. Like, do you think Eminem's vibe feels like a post-it board at a corporate office?
Like if it didn't say the word Eminem, then you would think that this is like a timeline of the Declaration of Independence.
You know, like the invention of a headphone or something like.
The incense sticks feel pretty good. I wish I could see like the incense sticks so you instantly know what's going on, but I think the colors are thoughtful. They like feel harmonious together.
It's like Turkish Delight with the Greek version. Lukumi.
Okay, wait, is this a redesign?
Oh, it's Arab.
Is it a redesign? This thing, so that's the old one, but I can't even see the new one, and it's not.
You should put the new one bigger than the old one, not the old one huge, and then the new one 1/10 of the size.
Regardless, I'm sorry, but the old one looks more delicious because it's more heritage.
Yeah.
And like the new one, like you haven't added anything enough to like take away from it. Celebrity package, this is pretty cool. It's got like almost like a Louis Vuitton pattern vibe.
Yeah. I like the type, the Arabic type.
Yeah, the Arabic type with the screen printed looking like portrait face. It's like it's a nice graphic. Yeah. It actually looks good together on like the right of the record sleeve.
Yeah.
It feels like a weird record you might pick up at like a vintage record shop, which is cool.
Definitely.
No complaints there. Web design. I think that your web skills could use a little bit of work. The font sizing across that is definitely too small.
Too tiny. Menu online, but again, that's a printed menu. Like you have this theme of doing print design and just putting it on web. And I think you have to decide if you're going to do web, you have to really think what makes sense for a website. How do people use websites?
All right, typography, structured illustration, creative, visually appealing design from parts of magazines and newspapers. Don't know what I'm looking at, not gonna lie.
If that's just an illustration, it's kind of cool, but do something with it or just, make it big, full page.
I would nix it, to be honest.
Nix it? Kevin says nix it. Ooh, you made a custom type. All right, now we're getting into something.
I like the thinking. I like that you're trying to build a font through a grid.
Oh, I see.
But
there's some mistakes.
The grids should be there for you to follow paths, not to like literally be filled in. The density across your font is inconsistent. Every single letter is inconsistent.
Like when you squint, like the Z is humongous, the Y is so skinny, the M is way too skinny.
I would take this out just because it would tell me that you're not familiar with building typefaces. That's fine. I think if this is your first attempt at one, like that's totally understandable.
If you're doing this, start with just capitals. You don't need to do the lowercase. Do a design with them, make a poster with your own typeface.
Okay, this is interesting. These posters are definitely cooler.
Yeah, this is way cooler. Especially this one on the right has a really nice like asymmetrical balance, interesting shapes. The type is really cool. It shows a very different attention to detail.
Book drawings. Okay, so generally speaking, your portfolio is very scattered. I know that as a student, you're trying to kind of show off all the things you're capable of doing, but that's like honestly one of the biggest rookie mistakes. Like you want to have like 8 solid examples of work. 8 to 10 max. Every weak project you show goes against like 2 strong projects you show, because it really sticks out, and like the mistakes are more memorable than the correct ones.
Yeah, like I want to know if I hire you the minimum quality I could expect, and if I see something amazing and then something very underwhelming, I'll be like, I can't trust myself to hire this person because I might be getting this quality. If you self-censor, take that out, then I know at least that's not good. Even if you have 3 amazing projects, that's better than 10 at like mediocre projects.
Oh, letter grade.
Oh, C minus.
Senior work. I feel like for a senior that is lower than what I would expect of our senior class students. Yeah. I would say D, to be honest. I'm sorry, man.
You fail.
You wouldn't fail, but like I think I agree with your professors. You said you passed your classes like just on the edge. I think that they are correct. All right, portfolio review for undergrad student plus coded website. They made their own website.
God damn.
I've been feeling a bit insecure about my portfolio. Would love some feedback. I've previously been told that my work is boring, safe, too corporate, and would love to know how to improve that. Okay, it's good to know that like to identify your own weaknesses and then ask for the right feedback. It means you're like thinking critically about it. You're not just like putting it out there like just, having unpointed feedback. It's going to push you in the wrong direction. So yeah. Cool. A few main points and concerns I tried to explain my process for the first few projects. Is the text too much? Oftentimes that's going to be yes. Should I remove it? Our thumbnail image is too boring. Coded this website, best on desktop. Okay, let's check it out. Hello, I'm Alina. Okay, I mean, there's a lot of websites that start like this. I don't think there's a problem as long as we scroll down and yes, we see work. Perfect.
Cool. Okay, this is feeling a lot more professional. This is what we like to see. You could easily scan through here to look for something we might be looking to hire for. For example, I see illustration chops. I see some logo crafting going on.
Yeah, there's labels, filter labels for the type of projects they are. That's always good to see. Right off the bat, I would say definitely not too corporate.
Yeah, there's some fun energy going on. It depends on like what she means by that. If she's looking to be like more experimental, obviously this doesn't hit that. It is all like commercial work. But maybe put in a personal project where you kind of go crazy just to show the outer limits of what you could do.
It is fun commercial work though.
It is fun.
I want to click this loopy.
Yeah, let's click it. That type is really speaking to me too.
Yeah. I feel like the logo is great. I can kind of see how it's crafted. It could definitely use a little bit more finesse, but I think, you know, the way that it's laid out, the way that the letters are like modified are interesting. I like the little use of the star asterisk.
Yeah, the star is my favorite part.
So overview. Okay, no, I think this is fine because people will skip over it if they want it. If it was like 2 more paragraphs, I would say that's too long.
That's a good amount.
But this is a good amount. Oh, this is references, I see.
Oh.
People do this for process. I personally would not recommend this.
Yeah, I don't think I need it. It's a little confusing, and it's you don't want to show how the sausage was made, just show the sausage.
It's confusing because you might be like, oh, is this your work? If it's like too similar, people will be like, oh, like did you just trace it, you know?
Yeah.
So I just lead with this, lead with Loopy, lead with one big image of Loopy. Cool, nice mock-ups.
Yeah,
nice color
clean.
choices.
The pattern goes really well with the logo. There's a lot of cohesion. Mm-hmm. I like how you're pulling out that asterisk and making that a bit of its own mark.
With the tag?
Yeah, that's cool. I love bigger projects. I would like to see maybe putting that into an ad or an Instagram post or something with a photo behind it, something showing jewelry. But other than that, it's a solid project.
Yeah, like the system's already defined, so it shouldn't be too much more work to like add a few more applications to that. And that would really just drive home that you understand how to tie one piece of a project to another. Looking at Revival, it's definitely it's definitely a pretty nicely designed app. Some of the font sizes look like they might be questionably small, but I think like nice use of gradient.
Yeah, I like the gradient.
Seems like it's like
an app to combat moments of self-doubt.
Seems like you designed something that you feel like you need.
I like the colors here. I feel like that's speaking to me. I feel like the type choices are effective. They're not blowing my mind. But this is process interviews. So you really like put in the thought of actually making this app. So this is good actually for more strategic thinking to show. Yeah. I wouldn't do this for every project, but I think it definitely helps in this case.
I think if you're looking to be a product designer, I think that this is helpful. Maybe it's a bit too much, but overall like it's good to show kind of some process and some wireframing behind everything.
Yeah.
So maybe one more.
Let's start with this first one.
Yeah, this spoke to me too. It's like, I'm assuming it's a restaurant.
Yeah, handcrafted. It has a nice
cool. Yeah,
illustration style.
Definitely already like feels Mexican in LA without even needing to like read it or just looking at the illustration.
Yeah. You go up really quick. The Taste of Mexico. There's so many times people want to do handwriting and choose like the worst handwriting font of all time. I don't know if you wrote that yourself, but it has an organic quality to it. It's just a very gray area when you want to use a handwriting font versus your own handwriting, and I feel like this is a good execution. This is a better mood board. It shows more other references, architecture, food, which is I think helpful. Sketchbooks are always fun to look at.
3 logo options. I would say just in general, like get to the main thing faster. Like pick one of these things to show for process, and then the rest should just be the project. Okay, cool. The real photo of the menu. That's cool. Yeah, I appreciate that you built that. That's nice.
Ooh.
Wow. I don't know if it's real, but it looks pretty real.
Yeah, nice leather embossment.
And this looks like what you would expect for a restaurant. It's not like beautiful design, but it gets the job done.
Yeah.
And it's a good use of mixing handwriting and typography.
It does the job. The logo is definitely the strongest. This is a situation where I would have loved to see a little bit more of that illustration style if you had it pulled through the system.
And then I guess just to look on the opposite, like a nonprofit reband, let's just look at some of the more corporate stuff. It definitely does feel corporate, but you know, a lot of this work is needed out there, and
Yeah.
like nonprofit corporate design is helpful to people, so it's always good.
Put the visit. Oh, okay. So this is
Museum of Maryland. Okay, so this is a museum branding. In that case, I do feel like with the museum branding, you have the liberty of like being a little bit more creative with it. Granted, it's like a fire.
Yeah,
fighting
it just looks
museum,
like the
but-
Red Cross or something. It doesn't look like a museum.
Yeah, it definitely feels more humanitarian than like an exciting destination you want to visit. And like these trucks are like so cool. You want to
Yeah.
like really drive that home with the design. Maybe your instincts start to go here, using the clean typography, but definitely like try to use more engaging imagery. Maybe try not using like the black opacity thing that always feels a little bit like forced or templated, where
Yeah.
you're like, oh, I can't find a good image to put type on, let me just like put black on
Yeah,
it.
exactly. Oftentimes when we do that, it's because we know our clients are choosing the image and we can't trust them. So we have to give them a tool so their type will always be legible. If you're choosing the image and you're choosing the type, you should find an image where there's a negative space for typography. You should be able to like craft that if you're doing it all on your own.
I like the seal, it's nice. Attention to detail in the logos is spot on.
Yeah, a lot of craft. You're using it in a way where you're not maximizing its effectiveness. It's
Yeah.
too small on the website.
The coding of the website itself it's nice. Like there's like some nice transitions, some
Yeah, the understate.
So overall, I think like, your suspicions like are a little bit true, but I think you have projects here that break you out of that box. Like it's not all corporate, right?
Yeah.
Like Loopy was fun, the restaurant was fun. Revival was very clean, but just very product designy, but still like using engaging colors, using gradients.
Yeah.
Like it has like an air of coolness to it. Keep it up. Your style is definitely a little bit reserved, but I mean, even this, like with the hand drawing stuff, this shows that you have like a bold side.
Yeah.
So if you want to show more of it, just do it. Like take every opportunity you can to push it.
Grade?
On the count of 3.
1, 2, 3.
B minus.
I think I just have a half point kindness curve.
All right. Thoughts and critiques on my student design portfolio.
Oh, yes.
Welcome to my design. But we know we're here. We clicked it. Okay. We don't need to see it.
Well, I feel welcomed. Zaya Horta. So I'm assuming that's an IH logo.
You can drive a truck between those two
Yeah.
letters.
Well, I think because you want a 3 evenly spaced lines,
Gotcha.
and it doesn't work like that.
It would work like that if I was like also an even space between other elements, but then like the bounding circle is like so tight.
Yeah.
It's fine. Let's move on. Who am I? Graphic design student, little experience.
Don't say that.
Why are you saying that?
I'm a student. I barely know anything. I'm so average.
It reminds me of those like in the agencies when you work with a junior designer and they're like, oh, like what do I know? I'm just
a junior.
I'm just a junior designer. I'm like, no, you guys should act like you're a senior designer or you'll never become one.
Exactly. Just say I'm an amazing designer. These are my work. Hire me.
All right. Okay, I'm eager to learn. That's that's good to say. Create new projects. Design for clients and friends. Background. Associates of Arts.
Very, very little experience.
It's like just if you forgot from 2 lines up.
I don't really know. I don't have experience.
And we get it. You're eager. Okay. Don't repeat yourself
Yeah,
and
yeah.
get to the work faster. All right. Some projects. Here we go. Personal monogram. Can you even click these? No. Okay. So this is just like showing.
Highlights, maybe.
Okay. So your website is kind of like a interactive presentation about yourself, which
Yeah.
is not my favorite way to look at work. But if you only have these like one-off pieces of design, I can see why you would do something like this. That being said, I do feel like this is a rare situation of like not enough work.
Yeah.
All you have to show for branding are these 3 logos. One of them is being your personal project.
And 2 of them are versions of each other, and they also kind of feel related to your, the bounding box of your monogram. It could use work. I'm not gonna lie to you. The J&I trucking, the bounding box is thicker than the type inside of it, so it gets lost. The hierarchy's a little bit missing. If you're gonna use this thin line of like the mountains that matches like the trucking type, maybe the bounding box should also be thin. Just try to make it feel a little bit more cohesive. Look, I hate to break it to you, man. You need a little bit of work. Like the top edge of J&I trucking in the rounded form, it's like not even. It's kind of got like a distortion going on too, like getting a little bit wonky with the letter forms. Just pay attention to more craft. Make sure your lines are like the same thickness. Make sure like the margins around things are even. But I'll say this is an example of a good template almost fooling me. Because like right when we get there, I'm like, this guy probably knows how to design.
I don't know about this.
Yeah, but like I can be fooled, and then you scroll, and then I'm like, oh, this person is very beginner, which is totally fine. But I feel like
he warned you.
You don't have experience. You just need to do more designs.
I mean,
honestly.
look, this mood board is sick. I know you didn't make any of this stuff, but the fact that you put it together, it's like, it's got sensibility. It reminds me of like CCS magazine from back in the day with like the skate.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like makes me want to like buy Toy Machine or something. Inner teenager. Target audience are men from Gen X.
What? That's so specific.
Gen X.
That's like 40-year-olds.
More, like 50-year-olds. Illustrations, like, this is cool. The psychedelic one, like, it definitely feels acidy.
It's like, this guy does drugs.
You know, I wish these were bigger. I wish I could see them
them
more. This kind of feels like senior high school fine art portfolio.
Don't do a personal branding. I feel like that's everyone's mistake. Make up a project that you want to be hired to do and then do that.
If you could do anything, it's like rebrand NASA, like, you know, do something crazy.
Rebrand Satan, redesign the Bible. Weird stuff that's just like, whoa, I never would have thought to do that. But that's memorable.
Okay, ready for the grade?
What's the lowest?
You can fail them. You can fail them.
All right.
All right, 1, 2, 3, fail. Sorry, man. I think you just you need more work. You need more time. You need more projects. They don't have to be real. You can spend 1 week making a new project for your portfolio.
Yeah.
Especially if you're just making logos, you could do 15 of them in a day.
Exactly.
So, yeah, just put a little bit more effort. Let's do one more. Hello, I graduated my graphic design course recently, and I'm now looking for a short-term job or internship, trying to move to another country in October, wondering how my portfolio comes off to employers and what improvements could be made.
Sounds like we're the people for this.
Okay.
I like the motion. I like the motion.
IFD. Oh, ice for dinner. Is that your name? Okay.
Is that an eating disorder joke? I can't tell.
I feel like you can't do this until you become Prince level known. It's like, we'll move on.
Is it New Blood? DNAD?
Award nominated submission. Okay. All right, let's watch this.
Okay. Motion design.
It's got some Will Patterson vibes.
A lot of lines.
Okay, showing the grid. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
It's HSBC. I always like their logo. It's very minimal. Pattern making is like a little psychedelic, but I actually kind of like the plaid vibes because it's weirder to me. Like some of the lines mixed in.
All right, so going on, Unpossible. Final university project duo satirical newspapers created to spread awareness about dangers of misinformation. Got another one of these plugins.
All right, just mock it up, bro. People hate us. Oh.
Got the Rising Sun. Okay.
Prince Harry or whatever.
The one that had the cool portrait, man.
Yeah, I like that. That's kind of nice. Very dense.
It just feels like Time magazine from like the 90s.
It's dated, but it shows you no grid, it shows you no type. I mean, you're obviously not a beginner. Whoa, YouTube.
I think these are fine layouts, but definitely dated. So I think if you're trying to like break new ground or like be hired at like Bloomberg Business Week, they're notorious for like crazy wild layouts. You would probably need to like get a little bit wilder with it. I like this one a lot. It's fucking weird.
Yeah, the heads.
Yeah, that's the coolest one so far. Just like that image treatment. Typography wise, it's just a little bit, a little bit questionable.
Yeah. You printed them out real and you photographed that. That'd be so much more engaging than this flip book.
Yeah, but also light it better and get a better camera because it looks a little bit like just you took
you dropped it on the floor
and took an iPhone photo. Yeah. The lines of the wood floor are a little distracting. Just
brewery time.
Inspired by Greek gods.
All right. So you drew those. Look like colored pencil almost.
This one's sick.
Yeah, I like the horny guy.
Yeah, this is cool. I feel like the biggest thing to work on is some typography. Like it's just so narrow and condensed. Definitely open up that tracking a little bit or pick a different font.
Yeah, it's lorem ipsum anyway. You could delete half of it.
Yeah, and if it's lorem ipsum, you're gonna like make the
rag
a little bit better. Yeah. But overall, it feels good. Like the layout is good. It feels like thoughtful of the form of the can. The mock-ups look good. feel like that's a solid project.
See, this is an example. We saw 3 projects. Obviously, I would like to see more, but that's enough. Has a good amount of mock-ups. He shows a range of packaging, branding, motion.
This is enough to get you an internship for sure.
Yeah.
One overall comment I would have about your website is like, I like the CRT effect on the top for your own personalized branding, but don't carry that out into the rest of it, because I'm like trying to see the work. It's like overly distracting to have that effect carried out throughout the whole thing. Because it's like, why is your personal branding so strong? I think like for portfolio websites, the branding should take a back seat and the work should speak for itself.
Agree. I would love to know more about the ice for dinner, and just, I hope you're okay, and please eat dinner if you're not.
All right, 1, 2, 3, B. I don't know if we would hire you as our intern yet, but you can definitely get a job.
Yeah, like for us, we would definitely be looking for better typography, because I think you have good typography, but it's dated, and that's not just aesthetically. Now you kind of really need to focus on drawing people in, bigger headlines, engaging and catchy designs. It's not hitting me in the face. It's not really telling me something like really clearly.
Yeah, except this one. And I think my last comment is you should put this first. Like, I know that you might feel really proud that you got nominated for D&AD New Blood. Congrats, that's cool. But it is like a more corporate, boring project. This speaks way more volumes to your typography, your layout, your branding skills. I would definitely lead with that. It's by far your strongest project.
Maybe like a project of one-offs or just more experiments. Because it's a little bit lighter, I just like to see a little bit more of what you're playing with in terms of style.
That wraps it up. We tried to keep it brief. It kind of went along a little bit longer.
Yeah, it takes a long time to edit these, and we have a lot of work to do, and we're trying to give back some useful feedback to our community, and we're going to be posting it in the graphic design Reddit again, so please don't get offended or mad at us. Farming engagement, we're just trying to grow, and
just doing our best.
We don't know what else to do. We're just brand new YouTubers.
Got Eddie in the studio.
Yeah, we're trying to feed our dog. It's hard, so like